Here we are back in the second video. So let's see the atmosphere editor. Okay, I think, in my opinion, it's the funniest editor we can have with the terrain editor. So let's get started, and we have nothing here in scene. As you can see, I've just restarted view. Okay, so I'm gonna maximize my view, and now I'm gonna just left click on this button, or just go to atmosphere editor. Okay, and it opens the atmosphere editor here, and first of all we can choose one of these atmosphere model. If we want a standard model, volumetric model, spectral, or environment mapping. Okay, so for the standard model here is the, if I could say, the first view atmosphere model, and it's always implemented in Vue, so it will give you the ability to control sky color by color gradients, and also the intensity of light, the densities of sky and fog, haze. All the settings can be animated. So the main advantage of standard model are the fast rendering and easy to use. Okay, so I think this is, as you can see here, for example, for the sky we have the sky color map, and we can choose any one of these here. For example, this one, choose OK, and you can see the sky has automatically been changed. Okay, so this is pretty easy to use, and I think if you just do your, for example, for the haze here, we can rapidly, I'm just skipping through. Okay, I don't really want to, as you can see here, but I don't want to do some on standard model because it's very simple to use. You just have to modify the sky, the light, etc. Very simple. Also we have common options with the spherical mode, etc. So we're gonna cover most of for example, the lightning tab here is the same as the in spectral mode, as you can see. Okay, so the volumetric model now is a little bit more sophisticated. Volumetric model is, as I said, volumetric model is a good compromise between a standard model and a spectral model. Okay, it's rendering faster than the spectral model, but it gives hyper-realistic renderings and the images, stills. It's really the sky. The sky, unlike standard model, is not controlled by a color gradient, but by the fog and haze and the sun's position. So which is really like in real life, if I could say, when the fog and haze controls the color of the sky. Okay, so it's suited for animation because just moving the sun creates super realistic and very good results, produce very good results. So you can just change here the position in white. Okay, just want to, yeah, something like this. Okay, so, and you can see right there, I'm just exit and show you how the sun, the position of the sun affects the sky, as you can see here. Okay, so when it's up you have clear sky, and when it's down you are something like night, as you can see. Okay, so pretty simple. Now in the atmosphere editor we have the spectral mode, and this is the Vue 9 new rendering, Vue 9's new rendering or atmosphere model, which produces a super high realistic images and atmospheres. I think once I've discovered this spectral model here, I've used it in a lot of projects, and I was satisfied with the results I was getting. So I think, my opinion, the best model here. But if you want something really easy and to use and rapid and fast for animation, you can use spectral model or volumetric model, which is a bit slower in rendering than the standard, but which produces a good and realistic images. And if you want to create a hyper realistic images, you have to choose the spectral model, which give very impressive results. And finally, we have the environment mapping. Okay, what's the environment mapping? This generally give you the ability to add a map, which will a map or near HDRI or panoramic image. The environment mapping will give you the ability to load a map or a panoramic image or HDRI and use it as an environment. So this is what is environment mapping advantage or feature, and it's appropriate, I think, for architectural visualization more than the environment scenes or very realistic scenes that you're gonna create. I think it's pretty good as I said, architectural visualization. I never used it for any one of my scenes. I mean, here in Vue. So I don't know what really it costs, but try it and give your opinion so others can get benefit of it, and even me. Okay, so I think now we've covered the standard volumetric and environment mapping models, and we're gonna focus now on the spectral model, because since I used it, I'm really enjoying it, because I think it's really parameterizable. You can really modify or configure any dot, any pixel, any inch of your image and get what you want. And it has got a lot of features, and one of these features is the behavior of the sky or the environment, which will work in according to the weather condition or conditions. This is what I really like, and one of the features I enjoy the most. Okay, so another one is the how is affected sky, clouds and light, sun in some ways, by the dust, by the water particles in the atmosphere. And the spectral mode has got many of settings and configuration that allow you control these delicate elements that you'll create. Certain atmospheres are simply incredible. So first of all, what we're gonna see is the sun. So I placed my camera and my sun. Okay, if you want to, you just have to reset view. Okay, sorry, close the editor and go to your camera here and just move it upwards till it looks at the sun. And now you go to atmosphere editor, and you're on the sun tab. Okay, for the sun tab we have few settings, but pretty simple. Here the sun color is automatic in spectral mode. You can modify it in the standard model, and I think in environment, yep, I think light color, I think, so you can just modify in the standard model, and in spectral model it's automatically affected or modified. Here you can choose or modify the position of the sun, the azimuth and the pitch, or attach the sun to camera's direction. Wherever the camera looks or moves, the sun will be always attached to it. So if you want to create certain animations or effects, okay, so I think it's more usable in or useful in animations, because I use it in one of my animations. So okay, and here we have the size of the sun. A bigger or a higher percentage will give a bigger sun's disk, a bigger disk size, and a 0% will no longer have a visible sun. So just here to illustrate, but I think in if you do a preview, it's really small, it's not completely visible. And why? So here, because of the size of the corona, and the size of the corona, let me explain, is maybe the size of the globe, if I could say. So if I put it to like 0, you'll never see the sun, as you can see. Okay, so let's see the atmosphere reader again, and you can just press on F4 to display. And I'm not do as you can see, it's a bit big. Just put it to like 5%. So right, and here let's render. As you can see, it's a perfect circle with no corona visible, as you can see. And oops, F4 again. And just to show you the effect, I'm gonna move just my camera line. Yeah. Okay. As you can see already, automatically the preview. If I change the size of the corona, you'll see that we have, it's a bit big, we have this little glow here, as you can see. If I do another render here, you can see this glow, and this controls this is what is the corona effect. If I just reduce the size of the sun and the visible corona, you can see that we can create some nice effects. Okay, so pretty simple to use and very easy to understand. And I think you're gonna find yourself here. Now we have the light, and this is the most important tab, because if I could say, is the way you're gonna make your renders realistic or not. Okay, so we have to choose before the lighting model. Okay, here we have the standard model, which will approximate the lighting from the environment map. Okay, so a sort of ambient lighting. Okay, pretty simple and easy to use. The most easy to use and the most simple model, I think, lighting model is the standard model here. We have the global ambience, which will give a more elaborated or sophisticated manner for approximating lighting from the environment, which will give better result, if I could say, than the standard model. And here we can choose the quality boost. We have better quality, or just to draft, and we have some rapid rendering, but I think it's gonna be really drafty, really bad. Okay, so I had to look at dictionary because about drafty, so I think I misused this word. Okay, it will be really bad, and we have really worse quality, bad quality. Okay, so the sky dome lightning gain, this is how much you'll gain. The sky dome lightning gain is a meta setting that will affect much our global lighting adjustment, the light color and ambient color, etc. So I'm gonna just put it 0. Okay, and we have the overall sky color, which will give you the ability to choose the overall color of the sky or the skylight. For example, I'm gonna choose some like this, and I think we can't see it right now because global ambience it will. Okay, but you know we can see it right now. I don't know why, but okay, we're gonna check it later on when we come to the global radiosity. Okay, so now we have the ambit inclusion image or model, sorry. In some ways this is a model that will consider each point on the sky as a source light, and then rays are traced towards each one of these point lights, and you're gonna see if the objects are occluding light or not. As you can see, maybe you've heard about it if you're using architectural rendering or just working on Max. Okay, so I can just modify the shadow smoothing and artificial ambience here, pretty self-explained. So here, just when you get up, you get more artificial ambience, and when you get it down, you get less. So just experiment with this too. And here you have a range. If you already used it in 3ds Max or Maya or any one of the 3D software that is well known, or as Blender or etc., you're gonna easily use this lighting model here because it's pretty similar. And now we have the global illumination. The global illumination here is, I think, optimized for realistic rendering, or the best optimized model for renderings than the three other we've seen previously. So the thing is that global illumination will calculate the light emitted by a light source, and will calculate the light emitted from light source, and not only but also the light being reflected when hitting the objects, even if they're not reflective. Okay, so really good for realistic rendering. I often use it so in my scenes, and it gives nice results, yes. And here we have shadow smoothing, artificial ambience. This is pretty simple to modify and to test, because they're pretty self-explained and you directly see the result. And finally we have the global radiosity. I think is the most optimized lighting model, which will give you the best result you can have, or with atmospheres and when rendering with Vue, because it also works approximately as the global illumination, but it also gives you some options that will give you the ability again to get the best of this rendering model here, which is the indirect sky lighting, the indirect atmospherics, and the optimized for outdoor rendering. For example, if you're doing an interior scene, you can just uncheck this box here, and now radiosity would be calculated for an interior scene. And when you are rendering outdoor, you can just check this option here. You have here the gain. Okay, so you have the quality boost, the overall sky color. I remember, just because later on I had some problem or explaining the overall skylight color. Okay, I checked. I just want to create my cylinder here. So where is it? Just close this one here and minimize my view and just grab my cylinder over there and scale it up. Okay, I'm just place my cylinder over there, sorry, over there, because of the position of the sun, just to see the effect of overall. Okay, so here it is, and I'm gonna just open the material, the atmosphere editor, and for example I'll pick a pinkish color. Okay, and as you can see, it's a little bit affecting this. We have this type of colored shadows and ambient sky, an ambient color which is not automatically generated by the sky, for example, just to fake some effects. Okay, so I was pointing to the sky, and I want to just show you something that will affect only object. I'm sorry because I'm a little bit tired of recording, but it's okay. Now let's move on and go to the global lighting adjustment, which will let us the ability to, how can we say that, to get the best from the radiosity. For example, here for the global lighting, radiosity, for the global lighting adjustment, what we're gonna have is the light intensity here, and where does light come from. So, or how much the